Welcome to the Taccle4 CPD website. I'm going to give you a quick tour of the site and an overview of the outputs and the products that you can find on here. So this is the home page. You can find our main 5 products here, a blog across the top, and a link to the Digicomp Edu framework. Contacts, information about who we are and how to get in touch with us. And here, just an introduction to Taccle projects and the Taccle4 Continuing Professional Development project. So the first main output is the Taccle CPD toolkit, which consists of a number of smaller products. So here you will find something we call a team map. Now the team map shows how ICT can be integrated at many levels. No matter where you are in your organization's ICT journey or your personal ICT journey, you should be able to find your start place on this map. So whether or not your organization has a policy, and then whether or not you have an action plan to go with that, and then have you identified the CPD needs, and then what part of Taccle CPD product you need to refer to, and then the OERs to help you deliver that CPD. So we have why, what's needed, how to address it, and then solutions for what resources to use. You can download that as a PDF from here. Then we have something we call the route map, which is a planning tool for managers and teacher trainers. It's a slideshow, but there should be hyperlinks in it to help make it more useful. So there are a couple of different starting points. We'll start with leadership and planning. Each section starts with 5 or 6 questions for reflection. So why are you doing this? What's your vision for the future? And then once you've had a chance to think about this, we've broken it down into initial, E-enabled, E-confident, and E-mature competencies. And at the top here, we have linked those to A1, A2, B1 to B2, and C1 to C2, which match up with the Digicomp Edu framework. So here we can see that the initial stages, the vision for ICT focuses mainly on equipment. As we move to E-enable, the learning vision is developed by a team. As we move into B1, B2, a confidence stage, this vision is integrated into a whole school vision, not just a team. And then eventually when we hit E-mature, this is a wide-ranging vision shared by all stakeholders. So not just the staff, it's also the pupils, the parents, the governors, the wider community, that everybody's invested in it. And we have a similar grading for integration, for plan, for acceptable use policy, special educational needs. And then again, we go through a similar sort of thing for teacher trainers, professional development. That's there for you to download or use as you wish. Then we have a review of policies and strategies. Which is literature review, methodology, and review of just how CPD in ICT is being delivered, the problems, barriers, and how you know it's successful. Okay, we also have a policies and strategies mind map, which is a bit tricky to see here. but there's a link to a bigger version. So basically, we've got frameworks for ICT in education and links to those. We tried to split into educational domains, frameworks here, education resources, communities of practice. And if anyone's got any links that we've missed, then please do let us know so we can add them to this. And then we've also got an assessment and planning tool, which is a bit more in depth. So we've split it into primary schools and secondary schools. And then we have sections on learning, development, support, evaluation, and organisation. So for example, we follow through secondary school development flow. We could say that teaching staff should be provided with design and development support when they're using ICT in their courses. And what that looks like in delivery would be that the technical design development assistance available to staff is available to staff who are designing and developing ICT-based resources. In terms of planning, it looks like technical design support is formally scheduled, teaching staff are recognised and rewarded for their engagement, and specialist staff support for inclusion of ICT in courses design is available. There are also subtopics on definition, management, optimization, and then here is our open education resource on using ICT in teaching practice. They're available for each of these. Again, it's quite small here, but there is a larger version of it available from the website. The second output is a handbook for teacher trainers called Digital Technology in the Classroom. Now this is an ebook which can be reused and also embedded into different websites. It's freely available. So it just gives an introduction to the project, why is ICT important, who the handbook is for and how to use it. Explains how to use each of the products. So just explained from the toolkit to the team map, the route map, the review, also the open education resources, how to use Digicomp Edu. Then we've listed models and methods for CPD, and for each model we have included some information, and then at the end there's also a list of tools that you can use to implement each of those models or methods. There's also information on evaluating and reporting progress. There's some specimen training programs and some practical tips. Finally, there's also a separate section on developing technology enhanced learning in vocational education and training. Then we've got O3, our open education resources for educators and trainers. These have been split up into teacher, trainer, support staff, and manager. So you can pick your entry point, and there you will find a series of resources aimed at teachers or trainers or managers, depending on your entry point. The fourth output is developing technology enhanced learning in VET, and so how we can transfer all of these ideas into a vocational education context. And finally, how we can transfer all of these ideas into an adult education context. You'll also find lots of blog posts covering lots of aspects of CPD. There's a big emphasis on vocational education here. But all of the ideas are transferable to general education and adult education too.